Okay. In support and would like to speak Preston Castile and Victor Ukpolo. Okay. Please introduce yourself. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Preston Castile. I'm the national president of the Southern University Alumni Federation, and I sit here in support of the bill. Chairman Carter, I had the pleasure of hearing you speak on a panel a few months ago, and one of your colleagues pointed out that colleges and universities should run like a business, and they should look at their income statements and run much like a business. And I will tell you, on behalf of the Alumni Federation, we did sort of the same thing. At the beginning of the year, we recognized that Southern University, its system had been cut $46 million over the last 6 years. Tremendous cuts. We're facing more cuts this legislative session. And so we started looking at our business as much as possible. One of the things that we did is that we recognized that our enrollment, as a result of policies, as a result of a number of things over the last 10 years, had dropped 40%. We were a student body of about 10,000 students, and now we're below 6,000 students. And we said, what can we do to fix that? We've obviously cut a lot in expenses, and we looked at it, frankly, from the business side and said, what about our product? Do we have enough students at our school, strictly from a business perspective? And so the Alumni Federation hired recruiters around the country, all over, to demonstrate that there is a demand for a Southern University education. And I was just tickled that we increased the number of applications for Southern University by 72%. And then I all of a sudden realized that those students from all across the country many of them couldn't come to Southern, and they decided to go elsewhere. They decided to go to Jackson State, one of our biggest competitors. We used to be the largest HBCU in the country, particularly when I was a student. But we've lost our competitive advantage because our colleagues have been able to react to the market. They recognize that when ACT scores for African American students, those students that we serve primarily, when those scores went down because something went wrong in the secondary educational system, that they were able to respond to that market. And they got a lot of our students. Now Jackson State is the largest institution. Mississippi State, Alcorn State, those schools are thriving at our expense. From a business perspective, what I would think that the state of Louisiana would want to do is demonstrate that it has a model that has worth. And we've demonstrated that because we've got so many students who want to come. But we can't react. We're not nimble enough like a business would. We can't make those adjustments that I heard your colleagues talk about on the panel. And so what we're looking for in this bill is the ability to do just that. So for my fiscal conservative colleagues on this panel, what I would say is that what we want, frankly, is less government. What we want is the ability to operate like a business, the ability to make decisions, the ability to react to the market, and frankly, to serve as many students as possible. You know, like Representative James, I listened to the testimony this morning about choice, and frankly, that's what we're talking about here, and that is giving students the choice to go somewhere, particularly when so many students said across America that they want the choice to come to Southern University, but we said no. We can't take you because we've got standards that want to make you. Why don't we change those standards? Well, we can't do that. We've got to go somewhere else, and we can't respond. I do want to respond to something that Representative Leger said, because it was a great question, and that is, well, we've got the community college system. Why don't we just simply divert more of those students to the community college system? First of all, I like what Representative James said, and that is, we want to give students choice. But the other is that statistically all across America, and I'm not here to knock any institution, community colleges, I know they work really, really hard, but you know, there's a statistic that I heard recently that in terms of African American students who go to community colleges, that the graduation rate is about 4%, single digit numbers. And so, and you look at the institutions, those mission-specific institutions, they've done a yeoman's job in terms of educating students that have challenges. And after listening to all the testimony that you've listened to over the last few weeks in terms of the students that come out of high school and that they're so underprepared, we want to give them every opportunity that they have to succeed. And so what we're asking for in this particular legislation is to do that. Give us the freedom, give us the autonomy, give those students choices, but give us the ability to run like a business, and give it to our management boards who are close to the situation. So when Chancellor Victor Ukpolo gets up and talks, he's going to say, look, we're right there on the ground working with our schools, working with students, and we want to be able to react to the market and provide a good service to as many students as possible. We want to attract them to Louisiana, and they want, and our university officials, they want that ability, that freedom, that authority to do so. And so what we're asking for you to do is to support us, to run like a business, to help balance our budget, to service more students as much as possible. Thank you for your time.
Representative Leger for a question.
I just wanted personal privilege for a moment, Mr.
Okay.
Chairman. I wanted to compliment you on your tie. And I also wanted to recognize Arwen Baskell and Stephen Wright and many students from Tulane University. Today's Tulane University Day at the Legislature. I wanted to welcome them to the Education Committee. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And as a graduate of Tulane, thank you.
What happened to your tie?
I'm here on Southern's behalf today, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. I too rise to support this bill because of basically what has been mentioned earlier. We really need to have a rapid response process to address information that gets to us as quickly as we can as a management board. Last year, when SUNO was required to keep to the no developmental requirement policy, at SUNO, we conducted a study and we found out that 64% of all Louisiana graduates in 2014 did not meet the published standard. 86% of all Louisiana African American graduates from high school did not meet the published standard. That was in October. Here we are in May. We're still talking about it. Now, if it had been, if the authority has been given to the Board of Supervisors to take action when such information get to them, we would have done this, we would have taken some action now. But as it is today, there are some graduates from high school who still may not be able to go to college even after we take action if you should positively pass this bill by the end of the session. But if we had done it earlier, our recruiters would have been on the front line taking action to recruit these kids coming to college. Another point I'm trying to make is that many of our students do go out of the state because of this published standard that we have now. As at SUNO, the president of Texas Southern is a friend of mine. He actually bought a billboard ad next to my campus asking kids to come down to Texas Southern, those kids that have 18 ACTs. My standard at SUNO is higher than the standard of the University of Southern Mississippi. Okay? And you know all the wherewithal that Southern Mississippi has. So with this situation, what are we doing? We are artificially, arbitrarily picking a number that is not supported with data. 25 years ago, this policy was put in place. You would think that something that's 25 years old, you want to come back and tweak it, look at information to see whether it's working. Well, for SUNO, we were asked to put this in place in 2014. Immediately, we did the study to find out whether it's working for us. It is not working. It's not working because it's driving away our kids away. And most importantly, for some of you, you may want to be willing to hear about what is happening to our adult education. We had only 0.3% of our admissions last year of people who are 25 and above. Prior to that, when this standard wasn't in place, our adult education admissions was very high. So not only are we depriving the regular graduate student, high school graduates to go out of our state. We are not even providing an opportunity to get to re-educate students, people that have gone to the workforce and decide to come back to college. So I ask that you look at this bill and support it to allow the management board to be able to respond to issues that they come across quickly to address the concern for our state.
Okay. In support, would not like to speak. There's Steve Monahan, Susan Nelson, Kevin Cunningham, Rodney Braxton. These are all in support, would not like to speak. Dylan Wagaspack and Albert Samuels. I'd like to ask the Board of Regents if they could come up to the table. I believe that some are here. If not, is Commissioner Rollo still here?